Hi there, and welcome to episode 6 of my tutorial series for Going Medieval. I'm Icon, and today we're going to work around with workshops, designated rooms, and all these wonderful things. And also I want to lose a couple of words about fortifications and our food cellar in between. So the main focus of today will be to set up rooms in a way that they give bonuses. Like, this game has mechanics. When you check out this here, overlay of rooms detected, triggerable by pressing V or clicking this little button. There's room types, and every room type has a certain type of bonus. As we see here, there's already a couple of rooms that have been created here, and if you check it out, it's a bedroom. The descriptions here tell you how to put up a bedroom. They tell you what you can have in a bedroom, and the bottommost line tells you what kind of extra benefit you gain when you put up a bedroom. For a direct comparison here, the bedroom and the shared bedroom, which only gives a small positive mood modifier. So we're going to dive into these things in a couple of minutes, but before we do that, I wanted to talk about the fortification project from the last episode. So as you already might have noticed, I have finished what I have started there. So now we have a little bit of a defense line here. This is the utmost basic fortification that I would use. You can now improve that by using traps. You just put up stick traps and build up a little bit of a labyrinth with walls that force the enemy across those traps. And you can also put up merlons. So these give your characters, when you rotate them into the correct direction, some cover from enemy archers. Also very, very valuable. Next thing that you can and should do, I can't recommend that enough, is build up a grated door. A grated door is much more massive than a regular one. Check it out here. 300 HP versus 120. That's about 2.5 times more resilience compared to regular door. Also, nobody can do anything against that. Oh no. Let's just start that sentence differently. You can amp up your defenses by just adding up more doors in rapid succession. Like, we could lengthen that corridor and wait until people start slamming in the first door, being pelted by arrows. You can build up pretty intricate things there. I just wanted to put down the basics and the most important things that you should definitely do to make defense a lot easier than it is without such fortifications. Like I said, this little block here is also a pretty nice thing if you can't afford entire walls. Put up a couple of those little towers here and your people can do a lot more in terms of defense. Okay, and there was another thing with the food cellar here. So scroll down there. I'm using the left control button and mouse wheel upwards. And here we go. So first off, I declared that everything here shall be floored, and the next thing there is oh well, now it's not the right temperature anymore. So since it's autumn now, we hit more and more often temperatures that stop the decomposition of food altogether. So during the last night when I was recording this, I had a temperature that was low enough to actually halt decomposition altogether. Because in the summertime, your food decomposes practically no matter what. I mean, you could build a larger and larger cellar, and as you have seen in the other episode, the more area you have mined out, the larger the cellar gets, the lower the temperature in general. But yeah, just wanted to point out that the shelf time of your food is going to lengthen the colder the season outside is. Yeah. Okay, so with these things out of the way, let's get started with the stuff I actually wanted to get started with. So, rooms. We have a small amount of different rooms available. I hope these will be more. Kitchen, we're going to get to the kitchen thing as soon as I have researched cooking and the other technologies. Linus is working on it as I'm talking. And also workshop. Workshop is one thing that I want to build up today, boosting production speed. And the first thing that I want to start with is the library today, because, you know, we already got a building that has everything we think a library should have, but obviously it doesn't. So here's the thing. Most workshops need some kind of decoration. As you see here, the research table is only one prerequisite. The other prerequisite is the wall bookshelf or a bookshelf. These decorations come in the, I don't know, yeah, here. The furniture tab offers the wall bookshelves, also weapon racks and other bookshelves. And decorative structures is the other technology, which is pretty mandatory to work with the room bonuses, because here you get other decorations like here, restitution wall decorations and tool shelves and oak brethren wall decorations. These are all necessary to give the room the bonus it needs. So let's do two things. First off, I want to have a little bit of a flooring inside here. I don't think it's correct that the library is unfloored. And the other thing is we're going to put up the decoration items that we need. So you find the tool shelf, the shelf thingies in this menu. The bookshelves, though, they live in the furniture tab. I don't know why, but it's just like that. We're going to work with regular bookshelves here, one here and one there. And let's see, I'm pretty sure I'll be out of wood before the end of the day. So let's put up some wood chopping jobs and set up some other projects as well. So we can now put up a little bit of a chapel around our shrines. So let's do that. I will make this with clay, because, you know, clay is okay. So we're going to build a little bit of something here. Just make sure that the oak brethren and the restitutionists don't have to live in the same room. They don't like that. All right, so we're now finishing that. Well, so I'm sorry, guys. I just can't live with such an asymmetry. So let's copy that. Cancel that. All right. Looks like we have to relocate the restitutionist shrine for the sake of my personal aesthetics. There are a few things that I can't do. So copy is P here. So what I'm doing here right now is something I usually wouldn't recommend. I'm building on top of a coal deposit, but in your home area, you're kind of like, well, it's pretty cool if you manage to put up your... Wait a sec, we're going to make it differently. If you put up your base not on top of large resource deposits, that really eases your problems in that regard. But, you know, for the sake of simplicity, I started like I did here. So let's put the doors here and there. And yeah, this will be what we need. Of course, we'll also need the decorations on top of that. So let's open this room layout thing again. And now we see we're going to need 2 restitution wall decorations for that one, and I guess 2 oak brethren wall decorations for the other one. Doesn't come as a big surprise here. So with this, you can pretty much improve the performance of these buildings by a lot. And also this mitigates the lower mood numbers in general and helps you with bracing more problems. Basically, the better your base is set up in these regards, the more resilient your people will grow towards hardships, you know? Because most hardships do exactly have one big thing on them. They lower the mood. And when the mood of your people drops too low, they stop working altogether, and that's where your towns can spiral into catastrophe, basically. And I'm not over exaggerating here. So we're going to expand our storage zone now so that these little chambers get used as well. There we go. So expanding my food stocks here a little bit. So here we go. We need a new designated hauler. That's what we need. So let's assign Harabreed to that job. There's too much stuff just lying around. So the larger your projects grow, the more working hands you'll need. That's it's something you can't change. So I overall recommend you to pick up more people along the way, as long as you feel as if your food stockpiles don't massively deplete on the way there. When you run lower on food in general, there's always game outside there. Like, meat has a pretty high or a pretty quick spoilage, but there's one beautiful thing about meat. It's also available in the winter, because a lot of animals still roam around when the temperatures shift lower. And when the temperatures shift lower, meat is frozen, and it doesn't spoil anymore. So that's one thing which will help you out. But in general, autumn is the time of year where it's mandatory to stockpile foods, and therefore I really don't like what's happening here right now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put up Tifina to a lower priority here and to a higher priority with hauling. So now Tifina should at least tomorrow start with the job here. So how's my library going? So here now we got a library. Wonderful. So what does that do? Let's check it out. I mean, we got that. Research tables give a speed bonus when we got a library. So you see now here the production speed is 132% because the library provides 20% extra bonus. This is pretty cool. I don't know where the other 12% actually come from. I really don't know, but there's another thing about bookshelves. They are storage areas for books, but their priority is a standard low. I don't like that, and I'd highly recommend you to improve that. So we now will lower the priority here a little bit, so your people will start putting these books into the bookshelves, as you can see here. It's a beautiful thing. I like that. All right, so we're now going to research food preservation and cooking pretty soon. But overall, these room designators are extremely valuable and extremely powerful. And the technologies you need for them are pretty easy to acquire, as you might have noticed there. But overall, I would recommend you to start out worrying about focusing into room specializations as soon as you have covered your food situation. Somewhere between defenses and food allocation, I think, is the spot where it would be a good idea to shift into room specializations, in my own opinion. It all depends a lot on your chosen difficulty level. So, oh, we get a opportunity to provoke a attack for Siflidi. Yeah, all right. We're definitely going to pick up that person. And now we're also going to create something neat. And that's a wooden hay bed. No, a shared bedroom. So you can see what kind of a difference it does make. So now we have Oak Brethren Temple and Restitutionist Temple. And here the impact is only visible when you mouse over it here. So positive mood modifiers when they do their religious shtick there, And it also makes the rooms a lot more beautiful. I mean, what can you ask for more? So check this out. This now will transform into a shared bedroom with different impacts on her well-being, basically. All right, so Siflides' job is going to convalesce and whole, and well, here's another thing. We really need a production table for bow stuff and such. So here's the next thing. We're now going to go for a workshop. The problematic thing about workshops, and that's why I want to feature them, is, as you can see here, a workshop cannot have any other workstation. So that means when you want to construct workshops, I'd highly recommend you to keep them as small as possible, basically, because everything else will just force you to have huge buildings everywhere, and I wouldn't recommend that at all. So we're now going to set up a little bit of a... to use that. Well, don't want to mine all the way around there. So we're going to put up that little workshop here. So I'm using limestone here just because I want to use it for the sake of aesthetics, and I am putting this up a lot larger than I would use it for one workshop, but that's mainly because my plan is to create a couple of workshops here. There we go. And a door inside there. And also keep in mind that I'm doing one crucial mistake here the whole time. Windows should be in every room that people are living in, because a window can help you during a heat wave. If ever the room inside grows too hot during a heat wave, this will help you out. Can open the windows to let the cooler night air in. That's why you should have windows in your rooms. I just somehow overlooked that topic a little bit, you know. Another thing that's really important for your interior rooms is the installation of braziers. Braziers are your winter safety. So general statement, put up one brazier in every sleeping room to start with, and when the winter actually comes, check out if one brazier is enough. If one brazier is enough, put in, maybe, if you want to be really careful, put in a second one, because cold snaps can happen. They are the opposite of heat waves. So, long story short, you will have to keep your people warm there to keep them safe. Down here, by the way, you see that reddish stuff? That's iron. Iron will be our good friend for the future to craft high quality gear with, traps and gates and all the good things, but we gotta get there first. Alright, let's put up another roof there. Let's do a limestone slate roof. Let's go crazy. So if that happens, just press R and rotate the whole thing. Alright, and we're being attacked soon. I'm looking forward to that, because basically this attack will be a really cool opportunity to put our defenses to a test. I like that. Another thing that should be really considered is when you're defending your base, there's three things with ranged attackers. There are, well, not three things. There are three different ranges: short bow, longbow, and crossbow. People with crossbows can shoot so far that they are going to be able to hit your people while they're not being able to hit the enemy. This is a real big problem. And whenever a ranged enemy starts to outrange your archers, that's when you have to send in the melee brutes on these people, because otherwise they will wreak havoc upon your people. So also installation of Merlons, of course, is a thing you can do to provide safety for your archers. Yeah. pretty obvious things, I guess. Alright. So the interior of these workshops will be pretty simple. I mean, we're going to put up a sewing station, for example, here. Space already occupied. No. We're going to get... here. Go away, tree. You naughty little being. And there we go. So, I think the basics of the setup of workshops should be pretty clear with all that. I mean, now we're going to check it out one more time. So, workshop, sewing station, check. It's among those. Put up 2 wall tool shelves, and you're good to go. This is pretty cool because it does change a lot in terms of efficiency of your rooms. Because these extra 20%, they really pay off in the long run. And it's not that hard to provide those buildings. Alright, so the search party arrives imminent. Let's see if it's going to work out this time. The last raid of these didn't work out. So we refuse to bow to the assailants' demands. So this time they're attacking us. Okay. So 7 enemies have appeared. So yet again, we're going to put these people up and holding down the shift key, selecting everybody, pressing T, and fast speed is sadly disabled during attacks. So we're now going to check out where our enemies are going to land. There they go. Oops, I didn't mean to. And now we're going to put up our archers directly on the wall. Make sure that they are really aimed on top of the wall. Sometimes it's really a little bit iffy and wonky, but... So in this scenario, I'm not too happy with the amount of ranged weapons in my settlement. I only have 2 people available with bows, but I do know that this will suffice. So I don't know why we can't fast forward during attacks like that, but yeah, well, you get the idea. But overall, this is pretty much also the pinnacle of what I can tell about, well, no. This is almost everything that we have in store for going medieval here. Because with the knowledge you got now, it's going to be not that hard to do on your own. There's only cartography that I didn't explain yet, which has been freshly introduced, but with the last update, but beyond that, there is not much more to know about the game at this point. Which doesn't mean that you can't have fun going down the whole research tree from here on. Okay, so let's check out what happens here. Our enemies are swarming in. And as you can see, our archers are doing a lot of damage on the enemies. And yeah, I feel as if the AI shouldn't work like that. They are now attacking my pyres instead of attacking the fortifications, which kind of like trivializes the whole encounter a lot. But you know. And here you see, for some reason, Reynard can't attack Baldwin. Baldwin can attack Reynard through that door? That shouldn't have happened. But yeah, you might have noticed how easy we were able to do this. Maybe spears have a special mode that I didn't know about. I don't know. But what happened now is that one of those pyres died, and you can just copy that thing and just repeat. You can also set up several of them. The Raider AI is very easy cheesable in the early access right now, so don't worry too much about that. There's one last type of attacks that I can't introduce that easily. That's later down the road, your enemies will come with siege engines. Then they will have catapults that fling stones at you. You can negate that by sending people outside of your castle walls, and the enemy will then stop sieging you and attack you. It's pretty easy to cheese, unless they fix that. If they haven't fixed that, well, a siege would be something worth another episode, but we are now pretty much capable of doing most things the game tells us to go for. You see, all these things that we can unlock here follow the same principles. We unlock more tables to craft new items at, we can craft different weapons and different pieces of gear, but this basic procedure stays the same. When we research smelting, of course we will need to mine out the iron ore and coal to get that done, but I mean, we already know how to mine. I already explained where you can find iron. So yeah, I'm pretty much at the point where I don't know what I should dedicate an entire episode about. The cartography table will unlock the trade system, but I don't know if that has been already fully implemented or not. This is going to be definitely where this series will continue. The future so far will be either you see this in a year or so and the next episode will just flow because the updates have been there, but the other option, which I find more the other thing, which is when you're watching them right now, will be that there will be a break between the next update and the next episode, because, you know, we need more things to do in this game to explain more about that. But so far, I mean, this little place here already has something for itself. I really like how this game provides a way more plastic approach to colony building compared with RimWorld. And I talk about RimWorld because this game has so many similarities to RimWorld, but with the room designation system and here the work with windows and temperature stabilization and some things, and the cellar digging, the whole height system, there are a lot of things that slowly discern Going Medieval more and more from RimWorld, which is a good thing. We just need modability for this beauty here. Alrighty, so now we're waiting for that workshop to be done, but overall, this workshop will then include, in the long run, a bowyer's table, a woodwork bench, and so on and so forth, an armorer's table. And when you put down your workshops like these in clusters, you can bring up a lot of efficiency on a low amount of room. I think it should be easily possible to compactify this even more. You could also start working multi-story, you know, because there's one beautiful thing. This, I think you see it here beautifully. So here the lower floor is considered a library, whereas the floor above is considered a spare room. So I didn't try it yet, but it should be possible to build a multi-story workshop thing, and this is where you can go crazy with your ideas, basically. I do like this about Going Medieval a lot. The fact that you can build a pretty huge base on a pretty slim area of land, because you can build upwards and downwards, which are things you weren't able in other games. So, really good things. So the winter is slowly coming, and like I mentioned before, make sure that your stockpiles are full. And now you can see it. Now, that's what I wanted to showcase here. There's no degradation anymore, because the room is now 2-degree cold, and there's not going to be any spoilage. I mean, outside we have pretty cold night, but overall, the goal of your food cellar is basically to have it large enough and cold enough to stop it from spoiling, which isn't that easy, but, well. I found that it is way easier to overproduce food in stupid amounts rather than trying to conserve your food that heavily. Okay, then. So, my dear friends, I thank you all so much for watching. It's been my pleasure. Oh god, burning raiders at night. And here at the end of this episode, feel free to drop me your comments if there's anything that you want to have explained in detail. Like I mentioned before, the whole cartography thing and all will be the next episode's topic. I will check out if it is when it is enough to fill a entire episode. And yeah, then we're going to go after it. Thanks again. Leave a thumbs up on that video if you enjoyed, and of course consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. I'd be delighted if you did. Have a beautiful day and see you soon. Bye bye.